Hi, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Neither a poet, neither a songwriter. What I'll do is I'll try to kind of put forth my point. The last 15 years that I've spent in this industry, I'm a very nascent new developer. I've spent about 15 years in the professional side before I took a call to become an entrepreneur and become a developer, knowing very well what the challenges are. So as much as I do represent the developer community, but I'll put forth my points very clear in terms of how I stand, where I stand as an individual and as an organization. I think fundamentally having a regulator is absolutely brilliant. The question is, per se, what is the framework of the regulator? The regulator cannot be acentric to one group as a stakeholder in the industry. It has to be something which encompasses the entire stakeholder. It has to look after the promoter. It has to definitely look after the customers. There is no mention of the people who are involved on the construction side. There are lakhs and lakhs of young kids who are joining the industry for their livelihood. It does not encompass talk about anything in terms of a direction. I think the regulation or a regulator cannot be a regressive thing. It has to be a proactive thing in terms of direction to the industry. It cannot be a pointer of what not to do. It has to be rather a pointer for everybody as to what needs to be done. That it doesn't lay down. If I was to go into the micros in terms of what the regulator says, if randomly picking up a 70%, money needs to go into an escrow, I really, as a developer, to be very honest, I don't have a problem with that. Fundamentally, why have the developers or we as a fraternity led ourselves to that situation where a politician or a bureaucrat is getting a backdoor entry? We are to blame to ourselves. If we had followed our own code of conduct in terms of how the business needs to be ethically run, there was no rhyme or reason for the situation to arise today. There are billions and billions of dollars that have come into the industry in the last 10 years. I don't see those $1 billion. All I see is land. I don't see the houses. Who do you blame that for? Are you going to lay the blame of that onto the door of the politician? Are you going to lay the blame of that on an IS officer? I don't think so. There's some level of introspection that one needs to do in terms of how the business has been run. It's very easy to come down on a dais and say that, we are in jeopardy. Well, what happened when we were not in jeopardy? When you had billions of money coming into you. You had money coming at cheap rates. You have money coming at expensive rates. Then also you picked up, but nothing is moving. Not that I would sit on this dais and only bash the developer community, but the point is, even at the administrative level, you pick up Haryana today, you go through health, it's one of the most transparent systems in terms of any which ways of getting a license. But there is a time factor to it. If there was a seriousness on the regulation, and considering the fact that land is a state subject, the point is every state government will have their own regulator. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah? Why is it not possible that when I buy a piece of land and I put it up for a license, we have to go through the revenue department, I have to get my encumbrances, I have to get a whole lot of things happening. Why is it not possible that I can get a registration with the regulator at that point of time and let the regulator also know that when my file has gone to DTCP on the 1st of April, let he as an administrator be also accountable for how quickly my file is going to move. I have no issues. Why is it that I need to spend 18 months getting everything and then going to the regulator and putting up my file for registration? Why can't it symbiotically move together? Why can't the customer in the market also know the problems that I am facing as a developer? Why should something which has been legislated to be done in 2 months by a government body take 8 months? Once a master planning is being done of an area, is the government so blind to the fact that there are no ASI sites in that place? Why do I have to run to the ASI every now and then to get a clearance that there is no heritage site in that place? So the point is, if you want the regulator, it's great. The point the regulator would also do is, in terms of 70%, as the gentleman just said, probably it will deter most of the developers from going into multiple projects in one go. And I don't see that necessarily as wrong. You've not devoted enough attention to one project, and you want to bandwagon on to the next, to the next, to the next. So I think that there is going to be some level of stopping over there, which I necessarily don't see anything wrong in it. And I also do not see eye to eye in the fact that if today 60% of my project is sold, and you're planning your project very well, and your monies are coming in, why should there be a liquidity crunch, or why should you be begging the market to syndicate debt or get any equity participation for the purpose of construction? Once I put in the equity with debt or borrowed capital to buy land, the basic logic of the business says that my construction should come out of my sales. So where is that money going? Why should I be syndicating money at extra cost when that money is to be derived out of my sales? That's for something even the private equity guys or the banks to actually go back and listen on their own prime of fundamentals of lending. I would rather prefer that the lending come into the situation at the land stage. Let the banks dictate, let the governing authorities dictate how the phasing of the project needs to be done. But why at construction? Even if I take the analogy of the 70%, or, I mean, that's debatable, it could be 60, 65 or 70. You spend 3 rupees on buying the land, let's say you spend another 3 rupees on construction, that's 6 bucks. You're selling the project at 10 bucks. On a gross sale of 10 rupees, you're supposed to earmark 70%. So technically, you're still saving 3 bucks, which is equal to your principal which has gone into the project. It's still out for the developer. You talk about in the regulation about advertising. Now the question is, advertising as a medium, as a definition, is about, making you believe that the product is there, be it Maggi, be it anything. But end of the day, the regulator has to also understand, the government has to understand this is one product with a huge amount of money being going in, and the product comes after 4 years. It's not like a Maggi, that I show you the pouch and I say this is the instant noodle. Are the customers willing to buy just on the fact that I show them a plot of land? We have ads which say it's a dream. It's a dream. So the point is, there is a dream. There has to be some kind of authenticity to the dream, which I fully agree. I mean, there are small things the developers can do. I was reading the article with regards to this very bill that a lot of builders or developers will put in their projects and they'll show a certain amount of green landscaping, which rather than showing palm and date trees, which are not probably going to grow in an area like Gurgaon, can I put in the flora and fauna in my representation, which probably I can grow, that is closer and truer to a representation of the actual product? So I don't think it's a dead end. There are solutions to be done. At the same time, I do agree with Mr. Jain when he said that this is going to be probably a breeding ground for corruption. At the same time, I think the fact that he says that some of the developers need to be politically aligned, the point is, as a businessman, why the hell should I be politically aligned? Why should I be politically aligned? I am here in the business to do something which is clean. Why am I allowing myself to be politically aligned? And what is the meaning of political alignment? I need the political class to spearhead the strategy and the growth and give me the level playing field for my business to grow. Beyond that, I don't think I need any kind of political allegiance. Yeah, that's about it.